Welcome back to Sampstra Games, the place to find new strategy games, and welcome to my guide on Unity of Command 2 on how to complete all the objectives in the Moscow D41 DLC. So first let me show you my HQs. So in most HQ I've taken this operation upgrade, so we're really gonna need feint attack in this first mission, and I've also taken the upgrade to build a bridge. This is going to be quite useful. So the same thing for Volkov. Northwestern. Kaledin was the only place where I didn't take the bridge because I just didn't have enough points. Western and Southern all the same. So now let's jump to the tactics window. I'll explain how to do this mission. Welcome to the tactics window. So today we're going to focus on the Tikhvin offensive. So first thing we have to do is we have to take Malaya Vishera up on turn 3, then Tikhvin up on turn 7, Road of Life up on turn 8, and Kirishi up on turn 10 and hold. So first thing you want to do is you want to take all of these units here and you want to focus on Malaya Vishera. Now you're gonna have to take really bad odds here. That's just the way this mission works, so don't be afraid about taking odds like 3-0 or 2-0. If you have some cards, you can use them. Obviously I recommend it to make it easier, but I didn't take any because for these guys I'd like to take cards that you don't get from the missions because the selection is random, so you wouldn't be able to copy it. Now, Road of Life and Tikhvin are actually quite easy. All you have to do is you have to move some of your units to here and to here, and you're going to be able to outsupply this entire area. You want to out-of-supply that around like turn 3 or 4, and then by the time it's turn 7 and 8, they're going to be out of supply. You don't have to fight them. So don't push here, otherwise you would take very bad odds. You just want to stand around, protect your own units, your own HQs and supply hubs, and then move with some of your units to the middle so that you can out of supply them. So now you also want to push closer towards Kirishi, but not too fast. Up on turn 7 or around that, you're going to have Tikhvin, Road of Life, and Malaya Vishera. And then you want to keep moving to Kirishi. Unfortunately, you cannot outsupply Kirishi. So what you'll want to do eventually is you want to sort of surround Kirishi from every direction and just go at it. Again, you will have to take some bad odds, but you should have enough units to just be able to push through eventually. Remember that you have to hold it. So even if you take it by turn 8 or 9, the game isn't going to end. You have to wait till turn 10 so that you can sort of keep it and take control of it. Okay? Alright, now let me show you how I did it. Alright, welcome back from the tactics window, and here we've got our let's play. Firstly, this DLC is a little bit different because a lot of the basic rules that you learn in this game are something they kind of throw out the window here. Like for example, one of the basic rules is don't take odds that are worse than 1-1. But in this mission, you're going to have to, because you just won't have any 1-1 odds ever. So you're going to be taking odds like 2-0, 3-0. Hopefully not often, but you will. So that's just something to keep in mind. Now another thing you can do is when you're in the sort of normal view, when you click on a unit, there will be a number here that will say like 1 or 2. Somewhere here there will be like a number. And that number is telling you how many turns is this unit going to remain in your, or how many battles this unit is going to remain after in your army. So if there is no number, it means that this is the only battle they're going to be in. If there's like number 1, that's going to be there for 1 more battle. So what you want to do, and especially here, because you're going to be taking a lot of losses, is you want to reorganize your steps. So you will be, for example, let's say that this unit is not going to be here for the next combat. So you want to take these steps away and give them to another unit. Now you're going to have your HQ here at the bottom where you can click on that and do it. It costs you 1 HQ point to take the step away and no points to put it onto the next unit. So calculate that properly, because what I did, I'm going to say in a moment once I click play, is actually I started to do, first of all I built a bridge and then I started doing these reorganizations. I actually I didn't calculate it properly, so I had a unit left with like 1 step, which of course is ridiculous because it will die immediately. But essentially this is what you want to do, is you want to take these steps away and give them to stronger units. Another thing to keep in mind, let me actually show you here, is that you can see this number. And the experience is right now regular, and every time you put a new step, it will go -20, so it's gonna jump to 90. And there's a limit. For example, there's like a limit to the levels where they are. So like I could show you something that's a higher level. here. This is 260 veteran. So you don't want to get it, I believe below 200 is something else. So you don't want to get it to like 180 because it would drop from veteran level to a level below. And the veterancy of a unit is really important when you're fighting because it gives you like a better advantage to how much damage you can do. I have guides about that. You can check them out. There's like a lot of, well, there's a lot of guides on NTF Commando on this channel. So if you want to know more, you can check it out. So make sure when you're sort of giving the new steps to the unit that you're not dropping their sort of veterancy level. So if they're a veteran, you want to make sure they stay veteran. Get them to 200, but not below that. If they are regular, then it's not that important. But like, yeah, keep it in mind that you don't kind of like mess this up. Are these guys? Oh, they're just regular. Okay. You can see that, yeah, we're taking steps away from them, so it's not really important. But yeah, see, this was 260, now it's 240. And now it's like 200, so we want to stay there. We don't want to put any more in, otherwise it would be a bad choice. You can put a specialist there, that's fine, but you don't want to put, make sure show you. With the specialist, it's fine, but normal infantry step, it would kind of take it away. Now, I'm also moving, let me pause so I can show you. I'm also moving my HQs and my supply hubs. So here are my supply hubs and my HQ is here and here. I'm moving it a little bit closer. Yeah. So like I explained in the tactics window, these two things you just want to outsupply them. It's going to be fairly easy, and here you're going to have to push and take some bad odds, and this is just something you're going to surround. So we're kind of starting here. I'm trying to move around, but I'm not trying to do like any tough attacks. I don't want to take any damage. So you just want to make, if the odds are good, you can take them. Like I'm using feint attacks because I can, because I have the points for it. But you don't want to do like a normal attack because you would get hurt. I also gave this unit no retreat. You'll learn soon that it was completely pointless, but I tried. Here I built a bridge, so I'm trying to move in. I'm trying to get kind of to the middle point so I could out of supply Road of Life and Tikhvin. And again, I'm using my feint attack so that I can at least make sure they don't hit me as hard. And I'm moving away from this unit. I'm trying to, because this unit is really strong. So I moved away. Then I decided that maybe I'll put a stronger unit here to kind of protect this. Probably not necessary. You might just want to stay away and hope that they don't hit you, because that unit there is really, really strong. And here I'm just, again, keep using your feint attacks and try to push forward a little bit. Because you do need to take Malaya Vishya up on turn 3, I think. Yeah. Yeah, turn 3. Okay. Now the enemies are gonna hit you, and they're gonna hit you hard, so that's a pretty big problem. Now this thing, what they did to me here is they cornered me. This is a good trick generally that you want to use. You want to try to corner your enemies, because they will if they have some chance of retreat, they will sort of suppress all their steps, and then you're going to have a really good odds of attack on them. So cornering enemies is huge, especially on a mission like this where it's generally really hard to do any damage to them. So if you could get lucky with that retreat, you might be able to push in a bit easier. Now here I'm starting again with my feint attacks, and then I'm just going to do some damage and just attack. Just kind of what you have to do in order to get there. Again, you're gonna take a lot of damage, but then the odds are gonna start to change and it's gonna get a little bit better. Yeah, like, yeah, and then I can step in. You want to make sure you step in with like your stronger units if possible, because again, the enemy can do a lot of damage to you, so you don't want to stand there with someone weak because they would get hit. Yeah, I've been trying to use Suppressify. You don't actually really need to fight this over here. I had fairly good odds, so I kind of did it. Like after the Suppressify, it was like I could have done some nice damage, so I figured let's do it. This is the sort of leftover units. I shouldn't have done that like that, but what can I do? Actually, no, it's just some unit that got injured. Okay, sorry about that. Yeah, I'm moving in here. I have not like out of supply them yet. If you look at their supply, they're still well supplied. But as we're gonna start moving in here, and then we can connect up. Here what I did is I entrenched myself to give this unit a better chance of not dying. You could probably take a step away. The reason why I didn't is I was worried they would kind of step over here and take away sort of, or destroy the bridge or something like that. So I was like, I want to stay there near the bridge to keep it there so that I could like keep the supply for this unit. But you could do it a bit differently if you want to. This probably cost me a bit more than was necessary. Now what I did here, I don't know if you noticed, I actually took a step away from a veteran unit. This probably was not the best decision. Like, yes, it was a unit with just one step, which is not great, but generally you would rather take steps away from regular units and put them on unit with veteran, especially if they're like high veteran, like 280, so you can drop it down to 200 and get a really strong veteran unit, instead of just like taking away a veteran unit. So just like something to keep in mind, maybe. Now, what's interesting here with the cornered effect is it seems like some of this difficult terrain sort of stops the units from getting in there, so you can get cornered even if there's like nothing behind. So again, this is something you might want to utilize when you fight your enemies. Again, in this particular scenario, this was not the best thing because I took a lot of damage when I didn't need to, but I figured I'm just going to show it to you through this so that you know how to do it better when you're going to play yourself. Right. Now, they're still not out of... It's okay. Now, at this point, I moved 3, so they're now out of supply. Now, this is huge. So again, what you want to do now is you don't want to sort of attack them unnecessarily, because again, you would take a lot of damage. If they're fully suppressed like this tank, sure, you can do that. But other than that, you want to leave them alone, and you want to wait till they get out of supply. And then you can take both of these very easily. The only difficult thing now is going to be Karishi. Now, I'm going to go very slowly in Karishi. You could go fast. I went like super slow because I was hoping that if I go really slow, I'm not going to take that much damage. It probably wasn't. I think if you went faster, you might have a little bit of less of losses. And you want to try to surround them ideally so that, again, you can utilize that cornered effect that if you do just a little bit of damage, like get them to retreat, because they retreat long before they take many damage, they will get cornered, and then you can use that to do some damage to them. So you probably want to go to Karishi a little bit faster. Now here I could entrench myself a little bit more. Again, I was hoping it would stop me from taking too much damage, and it really didn't. So you don't necessarily want to bother. And you always want to use your feint attacks. They're quite expensive, but it's like one of the things you can do to sort of lower the damage they do to you, because you can suppress some of their units. I apologize, the game crashed on me, so we're just going to continue from turn 4. So let me just show, as you can see, these units are now very out of supply. So again, if you have good odds, you can go immediately. Otherwise, just like keep waiting, don't take too much damage. And this unit is also out of supply, which is great. And then we're just going to move towards Kirishi. Again, you can go much faster at Kirishi because these units on the bottom, they could have moved upwards a bit sooner. But I was trying to be careful, and again, you don't really need to be. It's not like there isn't much of a benefit to it. I thought there would be more, but there wasn't. So, but you know, hindsight's 2020, so I'm giving you the hindsight. Yeah, see, I'm destroying them and giving my unit some more XP, which is always good. Trying to move towards Kirishi a bit more, you know, using my suppressive attacks. Another thing you would ideally like to use is you can move your HQs closer, which is what I just did. And you want to get units from different HQs so that you could use like multiple suppressive attacks. So that you can use, like, for example, one unit from the Northwestern HQ use suppressive attack, then one unit from the Staff Gap Reserves, and one unit from Leningrad. So that you could do more suppressive attacks there. Alright, so now we are at turn 6. Let me as always show you the odds. So we took Tikhvin, and we're going to take Road of Life on this turn as well. I think we had until turn 7 for taking, but because we already out of supplied them, so we can just go. And also they're like completely, you know, useless now, so let's just go and hit them. And yeah. And we'll step up to Road of Life, and we're done. And now we have like 4 more turns for Kirishi. Yeah, you can see we were destroying the units sort of like slowly, one by one. Now, one thing to keep in mind is that you do need to hold Kirishi, so even if you take it before turn 10, you're still gonna need to keep it there. So, just like keep that in mind. Like, you know, with a lot of the other objectives, just gotta like jump on it, then you can sort of run away so you don't take any more damage. Kirishi is not like that. You really have to keep it in control. So, if you know you can take it, but you immediately get hurt, just leave it alone and wait till next turn. Now, we're at turn 7. They moved their HQ around a little bit. It's now here. If you can, you always should want to step on their HQs. It's gonna take extra movement to do that, but it's useful because it means they can't use their sort of HQ skills, because they can use suppressive attacks or feint attacks, and they can give themselves more steps and things like that. So it's always useful if you can to step on the HQ. Right, so we're at turn 7, and we're just like slowly pushing forward. Again, like I said, I'm using the feint attacks where I can with units from different HQs if I can. Now, what I was hoping to do here originally is I was hoping that I could avoid this like super strong unit and like not fight it, but I wasn't able to. I kind of had to kind of push around them eventually. So if I knew that before, and I might just focus like around from turn 5, I might focus some of my units there to just kill it sooner, because it would make it easier for me. Now, another thing to keep in mind here, I want to pause and talk about this because this is important. When you are giving these new steps, they're going to be suppressed for the beginning. So you don't, for example, want to give new steps to this unit over here, because the enemy is going to attack and it would immediately lose, the units would possibly die. So it would be a bit of a pointless thing. But in the second row, no one's going to attack this unit because it's far away. So you can easily give the steps there, and the next one is going to be... they're not going to be suppressed anymore. So that's something to keep in mind and kind of be careful about, because if you do that wrong, you essentially did it like pointlessly, because you're going to take the damage anyways. Because they're going to die anyways, what I meant to say. I hope that makes sense. I think I babbled through that a little bit, but I trust that you guys understand what I meant to say. Yeah, see, they're now cornered, so we can now destroy them pretty easily. The corner thing is huge in this particular mission, and I have a feeling that it's going to be huge in this entire sort of DLC, because it's really... most of your attacks are going to give you a lot of damage, so the ability to sort of drop them to have all their units suppressed so that you can finally get some good odds, that's huge. See, this what I just did here, this is a great move. I'm giving units to... actually, I did it a bit too far. I should have done a little bit less so that they remain veteran, but you know, they're protected from enemies, they're a higher level, so you can give them points and etc. So that's useful. Maybe do it a little bit less, but it's still okay. And also you want to make sure that you check the number. If this unit, for example, was not good to stay for next combat, you could use it if you felt like it was important for this battle, but I probably would give it to somebody else, because I don't want to unnecessarily use points for units that I won't be able to utilize them in the future turns, in the future battles. Alright. So this is a bit of a problem. The enemy tends to like switch the unit that's on Kirishi, so even though you're sort of suppressing them and doing damage to them, you won't really be able to kind of finish it out because they just keep bringing somebody else. But obviously that's the strategy they have to take at this point, so it kind of makes sense. So that's why we're often like killing units that are not actually at Kirishi. Also, this unit doesn't have the same bonus terrain as this one, so it's easier to hit a unit here than in Kirishi. That's why you found that it's... I always tend to kill the unit that's here first, because the odds are just generally better there. So something to keep in mind with terrain as well. Alright, now I'm going to be able to step on their HQ so they can use their abilities. Now, one thing to keep in mind here is that notice that this is not out of supply. Even though I'm surrounding it from every direction, this is just not out of supply. So that's something to keep in mind. There would be this like picture of this like being red if it was out of supply. So yeah, you gotta keep that in mind. So out of supply is not the play for Kirishi. I'll show it to you again here. See? These are out of supply, this is not. They took away their supply hub, but let me pause. Still in supply. Yeah, okay, so now it's turn 10, so we actually have to push now, so we're pushing in. This surrounding thing helped, because again, if we could get them to retreat, we would immediately get them cornered, yeah, as you can see right now, which means we're gonna have easy odds to win. Also, it's gonna be easy to step into the position with this unit, for example, because they have the HQ there again, so it's gonna be a bit harder to step inside. And keep in mind that you have to keep Karishi, so you would want to keep a strong unit there, but then again, the enemies are out of supply, so it probably doesn't matter that much. Alright, and this is how you do it. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, write down in the comments and let me know if you'd like me to make a guide for the next episode. I'll see you there. Bye bye!